Bettercap is one of the most versatile and essential tools in an ethical hacker's arsenal. It's a powerful, easy, extensible, and portable framework written in Go, with all the features they might possibly need for performing reconnaissance and attacking various types of networks. It has all these modules that make it incredibly comprehensive for network security testing. Wi-Fi network scanning, capturing WPA, WPA2 handshakes. From sniffing, you can perform enumeration on Bluetooth low energy devices and manipulate them. You can do wireless HID device scanning and mouse jacking attacks. You can do Ethernet network reconnaissance and probing, spoofing for man-in-the-middle attacks. You can do network sniffing for HTTP and HTTPS application level proxies. I'm not gonna wear this mask for this video. No more mask. You see a lot of these anonymous masks on YouTube anyways. I'm not doing that. Anyways, let's get into Bettercap. Let's sniff some Wi-Fi traffic. Let's capture credentials on a network. Let's be a pro hacker. Oh yeah. Throughout this tutorial, I'll be demonstrating how to perform a man-in-the-middle attack using Bettercap's ARP spoofing capabilities on Parrot OS. You can do the same in Kali Linux or any other Linux distribution you are using. You have to make sure that you install it with the right package manager. I'll put commands on the screen to install Bettercap, especially if you're on a different Linux distribution. All the activities we'll perform today are authorized and part of legitimate penetration testing on my own network. So this video is for educational purposes only. So let's get started. The first thing that you need to do is obviously open up your terminal on Parrot OS or Kali Linux, whatever you want to use and feel comfortable with. And the next step would be to run sudo Bettercap. There we go. So it just loaded the tool. Now we can use it. Now I've done videos on Bettercap already on social media, on Instagram and TikTok. And people have been saying that, oh, Bettercap doesn't really work anymore. It's outdated. The techniques are outdated. That's completely false. These techniques are still relevant. The Bettercap tool has been updated and is being updated continuously. So this whole notion that, this tool is ineffective or not efficient is kind of silly. But anyways, let's type in help. So when you type in help, we can see here we've got a list of modules. So what is this? So on the left side here, everything that you see here in this list is modules. So HTTP proxy, HTTP.server, HTTPS.proxy, net.sniff, net.recon. These are all modules you see here on the left. And on the right, it has the status of the module, if it's running or if it's not. So you can see these modules here says it's not running. And we can go ahead and enable one of them. Let's enable net.sniff on. So when you type in net.sniff, the module name, and you type on, you can see here it's going to go ahead and perform sniffing. So what is sniffing? It's basically sniffing all the packets on the network from devices. Things that's happening on the network, it's capturing these packets and it's basically querying it and filtering through it on Bettercap. So we can actually see what's going on the network. So we've got some devices coming in. We can see there's a lot of devices coming in here. So let's type in net.sniff off to disable the module. And let's press Ctrl L on our keyboard to clear the terminal. If you type in net.show, it's going to show you all the devices that has been discovered while performing sniffing. So you can see right now, these are the devices, right? So net.show shows you network information, devices on the network. You can see my MacBook Air, my iPhone, some other device that's also on the network. I have no idea what that is, but it's pretty interesting, right? So if we say net.sniff on again, it's going to go ahead and perform more sniffing. And also there's one more thing that we can also enable. There's this module called net.probe, which will probe devices on the network. So net.probe basically sends various types of network probes like ARP, ICMP, UDP, TCP to discover more devices. It continuously monitors the network for new devices that connect or become active on the network. It maintains a real-time list of all the hosts on the network So when we type in net.show, it shows all the devices on our network. So if we go ahead and let's disable net.sniff and we type in net.show, it just brings this information that it's captured already. In order for the net.probe to work correctly, we need to have ARP spoofing enabled because we want to perform an ARP spoofing attack. We should also enable these two modules here, the HTTP and HTTPS proxy, because when a device on our network visits a website or visits a particular website, like an insecure website, we can capture those packets, we can capture it, and we can actually see what that person is browsing or what that device is looking at. So we can say HTTP proxy on HTTPS proxy on. Let's type in help ARP.spoof. So remember, these are modules. And when you go into the modules, they have certain parameters that you can set. So these individual parameters do something specific. So what we want to do is enable this parameter here. So what this parameter does, it says if this is true, so we have to set this parameter to true, both the targets and the gateway will be attacked. So we want to perform a man-in-the-middle attack. So let's say, so what you want to do is, let's actually just disable the sniff and the probe. So I find it very annoying. Alright. So if we type in, let's have a look. Why is that happening? So just disable the net.recon. Alright, good. So arp.spoof. So set arp.spoof full duplex to true. The next one that you want to do is arp.spoof targets. So when you capture these devices on the network and you want to target a specific device to perform a man-in-the-middle attack, you can set the targets with this parameter here. So if you say set arp.spoof.targets and then an IP address of that target. So for example, let's say you didn't know what it was. Well, that's why we've got net.show. So we can select one of our devices here. So this is my desktop computer. In fact, this is the desktop computer that I'm recording on right now, but I'm in a virtual machine. So let's actually select this IP address as the target. So I'll go out and I'll show my screen on my Windows 11 computer of me visiting a different URL or something like that. So I'm basically performing a man-in-the-middle attack on myself, just for demo purposes. So if I go ahead and set and I set that as the IP address, now that is the only target that will be addressed. So let's also set this one here. So if this is true, local connections among computers of the network will be spoofed. So local computers on our network will also be spoofed. So let's set this to true. But remember, we've got our target IP here. Let's go back to the help menu here so we can take a look at what we need to enable. So we've got arp.spoof. So let's go ahead and enable that on because we've already set it up. It's going to say could not find spoof targets. Just ignore that. Let's type in net.sniff on net.probe on. There we go. So it's going to go ahead and find all these other devices on the network like you're seeing now. If we type in net.show, we can actually see we've captured even more devices on our network just by enabling the arp.spoof and net.sniff module. We can capture a lot more information on our network. And right away, you can actually see here, if you're looking, it's already captured what I'm streaming with. Like what I'm recording with. It's already identified the software that I'm using to record on. So it could be probably performing some sort of API request to some API endpoint or something like that. But you can see here, something's happening in the background that it's captured this information. HTTPS traffic, but you can see how effective this tool can be and also how dangerous it is, especially if you're in like a public space where there's free public Wi-Fi and you connect to it, not thinking anything about it. You're just like, oh yeah, this is normal. But there's like some dude in the corner of the restaurant or there's some dude in the corner of the cafe with his laptop open just with Bettercap on Parrot OS. He's just sitting there. But honestly, I don't really understand the intention. Maybe they want to capture some sort of credentials to sell the information. I don't know. Right? I just think it's stupid. But it's cool from my perspective because it's for demo purposes, right? I just find it quite interesting when you play around with these tools, you poke around with it, you see what other developers and hackers are building, provide this level of education and understanding of how these attacks work. So you can see a lot going on here with my desktop computer. You can see there was some information about iPhone. What else do we got? Even my desktop computer's browsing. It's got some Amazon stuff in the background. So let's actually go ahead. I don't know what it will do, but let's go ahead over to my Windows computer. So this is my Windows computer. It's Windows 11. What I want to do is open up Google, and let's say I go to some address. I don't even know if this will work. Let's just say I go to discord.com. See, nothing happened. I just went to Discord, right? But let's go back to our Bettercap here, and let's see what it captured. So we've got some, what is this, login. It's got some Microsoft stuff, desktop. What else? Cloudflare. That's probably me going to discord.com. So obviously when you visit the website, it's probably capturing what that website is obviously using. So Discord is obviously using Cloudflare. So it's obviously captured that. We've got some Microsoft stuff going on here. I don't see anything to do with Discord. Let's change it up a bit. Let's say I go to login. So right away we can actually see we've got some Discord information coming through now. We've got some, what is that, login. So we got like a remote auth gateway. Yeah, we've got some information coming through now about Discord. So we are literally just sitting and just monitoring. We're just capturing these packets. So if I log in, so you can see it's like it's already like pulled some information already. I think what I want to do really quickly is if I type in help, right? If I go to http.proxy, the HTTP proxy module itself, and might as well the HTTPS proxy as well, okay, so this here, so enable or disable SSL pinning. So what I want to do, this SSL strip, is set this to true and see if that makes a difference. And probably the same with this. So if it's not capturing HTTPS information besides the URL, then this might not work. But because it's obviously a secure protocol, but it doesn't mean it's not possible to still sniff this information on a network. You can still perform DNS spoofing to redirect the user to your malicious site and capture credentials. Now, I've just been browsing around and messing with the tool. I want to go back and just do this again, but this time with an insecure login portal. I'm just going to use this website I found online that is insecure to see if it will capture the username and password. So let's go ahead and take what we've learned so far, this again. So up.spoof is on. That's great. Net.sniff on. HTTP.proxy on. I found this website called VulnWeb. You can use these applications to understand how programming and configuration errors lead to security breaches. So that's great. We can take a look at these vulnerabilities here, but we're not doing that. Let's just take a look at one of these websites here, see if we can capture this information. So this is called VulnWeb. It's a vulnerable web application. Let's see. So on the top right here, we've got this button. It says login. So let's click that. Username, we'll just put Declan. We'll put test 123. Let's click login and see what happens. So we tried to log in. But did it capture that in our... Yes, it did. Look at that. Wow, it's right there. So this man-in-the-middle attack still works. We've just captured the HTTP response from that vulnerable web application on the network. That's cool, right? And we can even see what the website was. This is fascinating stuff. Anyways, that's cool. So the man-in-the-middle attack, ARP spoofing, is still working. There's so many things that this tool is capable of doing. Now, I can't show everything in this video, but I will continue to make a series on it if you guys want to see more videos on Bettercap, but I will have to cover this in another video. If you want to stop everything, just press Ctrl C on the keyboard and it's going to ask you if you want to quit the session. Just press yes. And there we go. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, share this video, and I'll see you in the next.